ahead with our next sponsor. We have another silver sponsor for 110th Tech Day, and I'll introduce you to the sponsor that we have, Assciation. Assciation is on endpoint solution. It's with EDR, MXDR, ransomware protection, containment technology, patch management, asset management, remote management, etc. Where the system distribution is a national distributor of for Assciation solutions. Mr. Irshad is the sales manager from India who will present this product. And of course, would request Mr. Don George, who is a cybersecurity manager at Assciation from last 4 years. He's also present here with us, and he'll also join us on the stage. Prior to this, Mr. Don George has also worked with Cisco for 8 years. Let me invite the team Syscom for the business presentation over here. Can we have the team over here, please? And let's welcome them with a big round of applause. Yes, sir. Of course, we meet here every month at ASIRT, and we all are in the field of IT. We are doing some business with IT. What are your business goals? The new financial year has started recently. We are into April, and I'm sure you would have set some business goals for your business. Anybody would like to share quickly? We don't have much time till the time this presentation is on. What is your goal for this year? Okay. Okay, I'll give you some time. Meanwhile, you can think about this. I will come back to you. Setting goals are really important because then only you can achieve those goals. So we'll talk about this later. I think the presentation is ready. So let me hand over to Mr. Don George for a presentation about Syscom. Over to you, sir.
Okay, probably I'll use this one instead. So, for you to forgive me because if I'm sounding a little bit winded because I just flew over. I might forget a few words, so you'll have to forgive me that. So, I'll be flying back immediately after this as well. Assciation is not a new company, so we've been around for nearly 2 decades. We are founder invented web certificates, and that is how we started. And then that branch of the business moved off, and then it was divided into 2. And what we did was we wanted to do something very different from all the players in the market. We started as a company of geeks, kind of like university professors, and we still are kind of like that. So you find a lot of our employees at cybersecurity courses in universities giving lectures on how this works, how this ransomware comes in and all that, and not so much into actually marketing the product. So we were interested mostly in developing the item, and we were trying to find new ways to tackle the growing cybersecurity menace. Let me move to the next slide here. So we have our best friend in here, just trying to bite his own tail. You might often see this sort of scenario at home. The cybersecurity industry has a common problem. Everyone is trying to outcompete the next vendor on detection. Anyone knows anybody that's doing something different? Everyone is trying, I have a better detection engine. I have artificial intelligence. I have this in the cloud. I have sandboxing. I can do this analysis, that analysis. Every year, has the expense gone up or down for a company? This is the problem. So, the thing is like an unknown attack. Every day you read in the newspaper like this prestigious organization got ransomware. Maybe they were even defense companies. They are the best in the world, protection in the world. And why are they still getting hacked? They spend millions on cybersecurity. Some banks get hacked thousands of times a day. Exactly. So how can we stop those attacks? the problem is everyone is trying to rely on detection. There's no such thing called 100% detection. It's a mathematical impossibility. How can you detect something you cannot even quantify? How do you know what the bad actor is going to think and predict? You might create a machine learning model that tries to think like the bad actor, like the hacker, but that's what you think. That guy will be very creative. He'll create something else, and suddenly the entire model is waste. That's how EDRs fail. And by the time the detection happens, it's too late. If you look at the EDRs in the market, you say, okay, we can find out indicators of compromise, like machines are getting encrypted. What the bad actors did immediately next day, so they did partial encryption. Like they encrypt maybe only every 5 bits of the file, then leave the original file as it is, then encrypt a little bit more. But if you look at the original file, it looks like the same tape recorder tape. So the detection failed on a lot of EDRs. They evolved to match that. Then what do you do with your detection? And another thing is, what most people don't think is, if you're looking for an indicator compromise, signs of encryption, you've already failed. The damage is already done. Your data is lost already. Why? I don't know how many people look at the marketing, but is it actually getting transmitted? Like nobody is questioning the leaders, the guys, and say, okay, I'm already encrypted. You're telling me I'm seeing signs of encryption. What have you done to stop that encryption and the damage in the first place? Why couldn't you stop that? They said, okay, this is a new thing. They need to use new techniques. We couldn't detect it. In maybe 2 weeks' time, our super specialist, scientists will come up with a new engine that we can detect that also, or patch it up. If it's Microsoft, it will take another 2 years. So that is the fact you're having. Everyone knows how good they are at it. So, for example, recently I read about a problem with Mozilla Firefox. Microsoft patched up that problem after 5 years. So that's the world we are in. We unfortunately live on top of a piece of Swiss cheese cake that's called Windows. And it's not that other platforms are invulnerable to it. So even last week they discovered a zero-click vulnerability on an iOS device. Again, you don't need to even click on anything. It leverages a calendar vulnerability, and it actually backdates it. So in the past, and it's an Israeli company, by the way, and you get it pushed. And when it's finished, your phone is had. All your pictures, your call logs, everything is gone. Your voice is getting recorded. Your cameras are getting recorded. Everything happens. How do you stop this? When a founder set out to do this, he asked himself the same question. I don't want to outcompete everyone on detection. This is expensive. You're paying EDR, you're paying sensors and everything. We want to do something very different at the fundamental level, something that makes cybersecurity efficient, and if possible, shut it and forget it kind of thing. It seems impossible. But if you think differently, first of all, I'd like you all to keep aside your normal cybersecurity thinking and think out of the box here. This is going to be very different. This has been proven over the past decade or so, and we are successfully protecting quite a few companies and also governments. And I'll probably share a little bit about, with you. I'm uniquely positioned to say that because I manage the worldwide deployment team of Assciation. So banks and other things. I'm not sure if I have time to cover everything. So it's a very vast thing. So what we do is very different. When we thought about detection, it's an impossibility to detect everything. How can we do something very different? The thing is, most of the time, think of it like spam coming in. Everyone tries to say, okay, I'll try to filter the spam. Still, people get ransomware. Why does Ferrari get ransomware, for example. So you might think, none of my employees will click on that file. Surprising good proportion will, if the email is worded correctly and it seems to be sent from your CEO, for example, or it says something from the accounting department. And I've also seen this in hospitals. Sometimes if doctor gets a scan report, will he take the risk to open it? Maybe this ransomware, but if he doesn't read it, maybe the patient next to him will die. So he will open it up. So what we did is something very different. And as I said, you have to think a little bit differently here. These are the side effects of what all happens in the world nowadays. All this, if you need links and everything, I'll be happy to provide with you after the fact. This is the real world we are in right now. It seems like an uphill struggle. The bad actors have more funding than some cybersecurity companies put together. In this scenario, this is how detection works. A dog has to dig the entire beach up, and even then he may not find the bone. Nobody can detect 100% of threats. However, we virtualize the attacks. How we do that? We promise 100% protection. We are able to protect you without even detecting a zero-day attack, which is a unique capability. You don't need to have detection to protect your company and your customers. This is a unique thought. Detection has been worked to death. Something we have to think very differently nowadays. What we do is, and I don't have ransomware on my, well, I actually do have ransomware on my laptop live. And if I can confidently execute it. I'm that confident, nothing is going to happen. Ransomware is not something to be afraid of. You can play with it and toss it in the dustbin once you're done. Provided you have the right tools on your computer, like what we do. We work in a very different way. Now, when you read virtualization, this is not a sandbox technology. Sandbox does not work with the latest generation of malware. Malware can detect, they have their own detection. They can detect if it's being virtualized or being sent up to the cloud for analysis. Simple things. You might think it takes a lot of processing. No. You just check the hardware. If it's a sandbox, how many CPU cores will it have? 4? It will have just 1 or 2. 2. Will you be moving the mouse pointer around? If it's a document? No. It will be like one place. Even more, is it random movements? They have got very smart. They have AI built into malware and ransomware nowadays. This is not simple things. Antivirus signatures are, the day of the antivirus signature is gone. Antivirus, you can be hacked, and you can hack a computer with even the best antivirus in maybe minutes or maybe even seconds. And if it's something, it's a 0 day, it doesn't have any chance at all. We do have AV. We have a very layered endpoint protection system in place. What we do here is trick the 0 day attack. When a new ransomware comes in, we don't care about detection. We don't care to detect the malicious file. We take a different approach. At the same time, your customers, the end user's productivity is not affected. Now, these are usually things that do not go together. How do you protect without affecting production? These are, in cybersecurity, these are things that do not usually go together at all. I'm sure do you all agree? More security means more trouble from your users. They'll complain and you put big exclusions. What I can tell you is that your users can, even if you get a file, a document, a PDF with ransomware bound onto it, the user can open that file He can edit it. He can save it. I'm talking a file with ransomware bound onto it natively. He can even print it, which a sandbox cannot do, and use it. But the ransomware bound onto it, or a malware, even if it's a 0-day, the first time in the world that anybody is seeing it, that is rendered useless. How that works is, again, as I said, you have to keep your normal thinking aside. At least, hopefully, I encourage people to think differently today, even if not anything else. So, when a malware executes an environment, we let it think it is an unprotected system. How many of you have heard of honeypots? Good, few. Many of you have heard of honey traps, maybe. You'll have read about it in the newspapers. So, it's a similar thing. So, on the networking level, expensive, if a really complex honeypots will be expensive. It's kind of like divert the hacker into what he thinks is a real network, while safeguarding the real thing. The thinking is a little like that, but it's not exactly a honeypot, but the thinking is a bit like that. When the malware executes, he feels that he's welcomed with open arms. Instead of the standard cybersecurity of like suppressing and squeezing, you might think, okay, oh no, where's our protection gone? Wait for it. So he will think that he's welcomed with open arms. My best friend, there's no antivirus on the system. There's nothing to stop you. Please execute. He looks at the machine system. It's a real thing. He can read all the resources. Now we think, okay, oh no, where is the cybersecurity going? Wait. We let him read, not exactly right. He reads everything. He can read the CPU, looks like the real system. Okay, I'm not restricting anyway. Can I start encrypting? Okay, let me start encrypting. While he's doing that, we are watching what he's doing. But is he encrypting? Not really. He can read the actual file. What we do is, you might be familiar with Linux kernels. At the kernel level, we have this patented technology, API filters. We have filters in place that will intercept the calls that can cause damage, not everything. Then it will become a sandbox and heavy on the resources. It will be very lightweight containers. That's why we call it containment technology. So when it's trying to encrypt, it's able to read the file. When it's coming back and the encryption process happens, that part alone is virtualized. The encryption alone is virtualized, but the original file is still there. And that is hived off in a separate folder and directory. All the damage is virtualized, pushed to the side. He'll be happily doing that. And there's some hidden knacks to it, so that he'll have a report back coming by saying, okay, this encryption is done. He'll complete it, and I wish I had time, I could actually show this live. It is very interesting. Unlike before, you don't have to be afraid of ransomware at all. You can toy with them. And later on, if you have a POC with Syscom, we can do a one-on-one. To take an hour or two, not a problem. We love questions. Well, all the damage is stored virtually, and once it is done, usually if it's a visual GUI based ransomware, you get a pop-up saying, pay me this many Bitcoin. This is not something you see once in a century in our environment. Usually we do it so many times, I see it several times a day because I play with it all the time. So you have the ransomware node. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want, you can play with them. I'm not encouraging you to do that, but you can, and you can just toss it in the dustbin. Once you're done, one click, and the container is dismissed, records are saved, and it's like instant IT time travel back to the second before the user clicked on that file. Now you don't even need expensive backup solutions to recover from a ransomware incident. There's no changes. You are killing two birds with one stone. And all this is automated out. Because of the active nature of this, we have next-gen EDR. This is a protection aspect, and we've hived it off from the EDR, which means even without installing the Lester, we use the EDR for the storytelling aspect. It doesn't need to protect because it is so quick. The new 0-day doesn't have any dwell time in your environment. It doesn't have a chance to actually encrypt or cause damage. There is zero dwell in your environment at all. So now value of EDR, not much, is used to tell the story. EDR is needed to tell the story though. So, but when you deploy in a custom environment, for example, government, I have a customer I deployed to in Canada. They bought 2,000 license just for Windows XP and Server 2003. Not because they wanted to, because they are manufacturing. They bought millions of dollars of equipment and they can't upgrade. In that kind of environment, if I deploy EDR, it's gone, because EDR has a performance impact. Here, very lightweight installation, you get all the protection. I'm talking water treatment plants that are critical to a city's health. Some of them are running Windows XP. I have personally deployed to protect several cities. We also protected several states, entire states worth. For example, Shell Oil Company. How many have heard of Shell Oil? We protect them. We are very discreet about this. And what I can't tell you is that, don't ask me about the customer, but we also protect Department of Defense customers as well. And these are very interesting. With nation state level actors thwarted for the first time in the world at the endpoint level without detection. That is something. And these are very well written. They have more PhDs in the attacking side than most cybersecurity companies. They have PhDs in networking. And one incident that I had was for an aviation firm. Let the name be unsaid. So I'm diverting away with this, but maybe you'll relate more to the stories than anything else. So we caught something in containment, and they were saying, hey, what is it? We had to find a report out, right? So we pulled it out. When a file is caught, we don't just sit on it. We send up to the cloud for analysis. We'll reverse engineer it and see what is that doing. It was a very well written piece of code. Nothing malicious. But it had comments, and the comments were in Chinese. What is that doing in an aerospace company that's not even remotely related to anything there? Packed in an engineering tool. And they didn't have even a millisecond time in their environment before it was trapped. How we do that is, how are you able to differentiate 0-day from the normal executable will be probably a question. We do that by the hash. So forgive me for being a little bit technical. If there's even a line of a programming code changing, the hash of the file will change. 256 or for example, SHA value. If you change the name, the file hash will not change. But if anything the programming, like for example, the SolarWinds hack, we know the actual hash. Somebody did something in the programming code, looks like a real thing, we know that it's different. We just check the hash. When it tries to execute, we don't think twice. We don't do any detection. It goes straight into auto containment straight away. We do not think twice. Because of this philosophy, we've been able to, especially in the pandemic, when people started to go and work from home, we have met a lot of success. Suddenly the established players started to look very vulnerable during the pandemic, and the truth started coming out when they got hacked, data got leaked, and we were completely invulnerable to them. And we, unlike others, we publish our numbers. We would like to force the industry to also be proactive like this. For the past 2 years, when we publish our numbers, over millions of endpoints protected, we have not had a single breach. Is there any other cybersecurity company that can claim that? And by the way, it was there's a lot of contracts that have other vendors built in. Recently, last week, I had a rollout with an integrator in Brazil, where government may place an order and we couldn't exactly deploy. It has to go from the image itself, 5,000 machines in one shot. We did that from an image, and that to a full stack with training, automated, everything. We could do that, engineer that. It's a new capability, and we did that last week. Backward. The IAD side, yeah, without any AD. It's on the image itself.
Yeah.
Golden image.
So basically in this you're talking about anti-deception at the perimeter, like how ATO technologies was acquired by Sentinel-1. They have put the same kind of technology. So you are calling your technology anti-deception, or it's a...
It's called Zero Dwell. The
Correct.
core part, I have not, sorry, I actually went fast a little bit. The core component that is different about us is what is called a Zero Dwell containment. It's at the endpoint level itself.
Correct.
Every endpoint is not in the network. Even if a file reaches it, you're hacked, you're penetrated, the file reaches the endpoint, is rendered useless there.
Yeah, I've tried your product, but since you're claiming it's beyond EDR, do you give a breach warranty?
Yes, I think we have a new program for it.
Yeah.
You can check with it. There are, of course, you have to set it correctly. You just leave it there. No, you have to configure that. But yes, I think we have some new terms. I'm not a sales guy, so technical side, but there was a program around that. You have to, I would say Cisco can clarify that for you.
Sure.
But right now, last 2 years, no breaches.
And Linux EDR?
Linux, no, as of right now, and we are just Windows for right now. Protection, endpoint protection, we have Linux and Mac as well.
Right.
Containment technologies is specific to Windows. We have something similar coming up for both Mac and Linux, but they use different technologies because you don't have kernel API function. The function, the OS itself is different, right? But it was a long time coming for Mac because you get Apple to agree to anything. But yeah, that also is in the works.
What about container security on Kubernetes? You're doing that?
No.
Nothing, okay.
No. And we are very layered. So a lot of companies pay for antivirus, they pay for EDR, they pay for basic DLP. We have all that and included in the basic package itself. The basic package contains a lot of things. We include EDR for free. You don't have to pay for EDR. When you buy the main package, you don't have to pay for EDR. It's there. EDR is free. We also have an initiative called Open EDR. However, because of the efficiency of containment, we build on it further because nowadays everyone wants SOC managed. Why you want, if a customer comes and say, hey, I think something is wrong at 5 p.m. yesterday, do you want to answer or do you want somebody else to do it? You, of course, very few companies can afford like 20 people to be there in shift all the time, 24/7. We provide a very streamlined SOC service that leverages auto containment to give you high fidelity alerts. Once filtered down, or because of that, the efficiency, the price benefits, I can't disclose this here, but is very different from anything in the industry. We can provide efficiencies that are far greater in the industry. Let me, as an example, this is not the real price, but earlier if you are paying somebody $2 and you sold it to a customer for $3, you can get the same product and a bit more for $1, and you can still sell for $3. That's the situation we have.
So since you have open EDR, are you going to launch MDR, open MDR, or you have to use the commercial MDR version, and is it vendor agnostic?
MDR is managed, that is our own SOC team.
Right. But vendor agnostic, if I'm not using I'm using CrowdStrike or
No,
Center.
it's purely vertically integrated with Assciation because the solution is the basic building block is containment. Without that, the MDR pricing, everything will get collapsed. It will be maybe several times more expensive.
Yeah, but the challenge is you don't have Linux support. So in hybrid and public cloud environments, you need Linux in a big way. So endpoint security, I know it's great. I've used your products, but beyond Mac and Windows on servers, hybrid security, we need Linux support.
We have security, but not EDR. So again, in our environment, without EDR, you have 100% protection. So normally, and by the way, we have customers who laid us on top of CrowdStrike because it couldn't stop everything. That is also, that is a recent one I have done as well. EDR normally said, okay, we can protect. No, EDR can protect, can detect and then try to do something. We are protection first and then everything else. The endpoint security is in the entire portfolio though. What we do is, we also, when we go to MDR, the next solution is, companies call XDR or MXDR in our case. So we offer a solution called Exceeding Complete, which includes everything and also a little bit more.
But will it ingest all the firewall logs in the XDR? So I have Fortinet or Palo Alto. Will it ingest the log there in the XDR?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you have XDR, not just you, our MDR team will analyze it for you as well. You don't have to do it manually. We have the capability to deploy sensors into your network. It's an ISO. You can put it on a physical machine or a virtual machine. And we do not charge per sensor. You can have as many as you want. And our SOC team, we can ingest logs from perimeter firewalls. And we have the capability to, if there's a unique build, just let us know. And we usually can build a parser within like 2 to 3 weeks for it. We have 24/7 eyes on glass capability, and and real-time response as well. Go ahead.
What you're trying to say is it's like a mini SIM replacement basically with your XDR. You're not.
We do have a SIM as well, but
Yeah.
it's facing our MDR team.
Correct.
It's, if you want your SIM to ingest the logs, you can. But it needs to be, the SIMs team needs to be able to read it. So there's a capability to do it as well. But we have a SIM, but it's facing our MDR team. We have IR and threat hunting as well. You do not have to pre-purchase IR hours if it's a large customer. Incident response hours, for example, CrowdStrike, you have to pay, they say like, you have to pre-purchase so many hours for this package. You don't have to do that. It's included for free for the MDR team.
CrowdStrike, they charge $20,000-$30,000 for incidents response.
Exactly. For us, it's free.
Awesome.
The difference is that the forensic tools, if you want, you can do it yourself. If you have the capability, you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay $30,000. That's a very good point, actually. And that's how we got one of our customers recently. We can do the same analysis. CrowdStrike will take 2 weeks. We can do it in 24 hours. Just that because we have the capability built in. It's a lot to explain a lot of this in half an hour. Sometimes I take 2-3 hours to explain all this. The portfolio is very broad. At the endpoint level also we have remote access and patch management. So if customer needs to that manage, or you are going to manage it for them, you can do it. You don't have to install any desk or anything. It's included for free. You also have ticketing system, service desk built in. That's included for free as well. We don't charge for the ketchup and fries. You buy the burger, you get it with it.
But the challenge with that is all the Komodo products works, the RMM works only with the Komodo product line, not third-party things like Acronis and all that. So there's a lot of stitching to do if I deploy your RMM with other vendors. That's the problem. The product is very good, but with third-party products it's a challenge. And what's your incident response SLA? How much time do you response time, resolution time?
For MDR, it's usually we do it in like 3 hours. If it's that's for, and if it's actual analysis, as I said, very deep, something that would cost you $20,000-$30,000, you can get it done in 24 hours. That's for very deep analysis for an entire enterprise-wide. I'm sorry, I took too much time here, and we can always.
One last
Okay.
question. This is, you're talking about IT security. So, in SCADA-based systems which you talked, there is OT and IoT security. So, do you have a roadmap around OT and IoT with your technology?
For IoT, not right now.
OT.
But if there is a use case for it, it depends upon use cases. For example, embedded Windows
Correct.
for thin clients.
Yeah.
Though openly we don't support, I have deployed a thin clients.
Got it.
It's a capability, but it needs customization. But yes, we have done it. And to that, the capability came across during the pandemic when we had to. There is a company that literally took the entire thousands of boxes of Dell thin clients at a customer, in a store at the maximum price possible. He had no choice because next day lockdown started. So he went and took everything in the store, and they said, "Please protect this." So
Correct.
he said, "I don't know if you can do it, but let's do it." But we managed to actually do it, and that with containment, everything.
And which tool did you replace in this Brazilian case of 5,000 endpoints? What was the primary earlier tool they were using?
It is brand new.
Okay, it's a greenfield project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, can we take this offline? again,
Thanks,
please?
thanks.
We're running out of time.
Thanks, Anubhav. Very interesting questions, though. So we have a partner support program as well. For us in India, Cisco is a national distributor for Assciation products in the Middle East as well as in India. We have Mr. Rajiv here, who is the director at Cisco for cybersecurity. You can contact him for any information you want. And I'm sure the price combination you make, the value for money, vertical integration, will blow your mind. But you have to discuss personally with them. Please do that. And also I have Mr. Irshad, who is the business development manager at Cisco, handling India as well. Please get in touch with him, and I'm sure you'll all speak with me as well in the future. Thank you.
Mr. George, for sharing your thoughts and talking about your business. Well, two important presentations are done. और अभी actual धमाल शुरू होने वाला है. But before that, we'll have a small bio break. 10 minutes, can we come back in 10 minutes? Thank you so much. Let's have a small bio break. 10-minute room, and this time we would request you to take your seats with your consortium members. अपने consortium members के साथ आपको बैठना है, because we are going to have a team activity, and for that I need you along with your consortium members. Can we have the leaders of all the consortium here, please? Leaders of all the consortium. Leaders of all the consortium. Sit along with your consortium members, please. Okay, which consortium is this? Sixth Sense. And who is the leader? Okay, Mr. Gaurang Bhatt from Sixth Sense. Your team is waiting for you. Which consortium is this? Conquerors. Okay, the next consortium is Conquerors. And who is the leader? Paraswara. Mr. Paraswara. Mr. Paraswara, your team members are waiting for you. Okay, Delta is here. Delta is settling down here. Have enough space. आप ऐसे बैठिए कि आपकी पूरी टीम आपके आजू बाजू में सेटल हो सके, because you would need to talk to them. Okay? So अगर आप एक टेबल ऑक्यूपाई कर रहे हैं, साथ में you would need some extra chairs also to ensure that your team members are sitting nearby so that you can talk to them. Everybody, can we have you in?
Check one, check.
Everyone, can we have you in the room, please? Back again. 10 minutes are over.
Check one.
Now you need to sit along with the consortium members. ऐसे ज़्यादा लोगों की क्या है? भाग जाएंगे लोग. We need you inside. please. Can you consortium members? In Phoenix. आप Phoenix बोलो, मैं भी Phoenix. Phoenix is here. You can pull the extra chairs if you want. आपके consortium के members के साथ बैठ consortium.
No, they can make a different group. We'll just
Different
allot
नहीं
them.
होगा. I need 6 in numbers.
Okay. So all those who have not been allotted, you can join any group, take any chair, draw the chair and join any of the groups. It has to be only 6.
6 or 8. तो फिर
It's only about 6 or 8.
So six groups. Let's stick to 6 groups. If you are not allotted any consortium yet, you can join any of the groups right now, temporary for this activity.
Look at the faces that you like, please join them.
Okay, so Phoenix is here. Phoenix is here. Anybody who is part of Phoenix and has not been here, please join this group here. Phoenix. People who are part of Phoenix. Champak Raj ji. It's a great honor and pleasure to welcome Mr. Champak Raj ji. He is the president of TED who has joined us here. Let's welcome him. Yeah, he's there waving everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, last 10 seconds to get settled. You should be part of any one of the consortium. There are total 6 of them. If you are not allotted any consortium, you can join any as of now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Get settled quickly. I don't want anyone standing. Please. 5. Grab the chair from behind. 4. 3. There's so many people standing. Please grab the chair from behind because you can't stand like this for next 30 minutes. Please grab a chair. 3, 2, 1 and 0. Okay, let's give a big round of applause for everyone. Okay, so now we are going to have, can I have your attention please? Thank you. Such a wonderful audience. Now we are going to have something really interesting. And for that, we have 6 teams, which are 6 different consortiums, which are already there, and we are using the existing teams as well. There is no difference whether you have 10 members in your consortium or 15 members. It doesn't make any difference in your points or in game. Okay? It is member neutral. So doesn't matter whether you are 10 people sitting together or 15 people sitting together. It's not going to change your performance or whatever in this activity that we are going to have. So don't worry about it. But you should be part of at least any one of the consortium groups so that you can participate actively. I need leaders of the consortiums to stand. And those consortiums who do not have leader present over here right now can voluntarily, mutually decide one person as a leader for this particular activity. जिस कंसोर्शियम के लीडर आज अभी यहाँ पे मौजूद नहीं है या फिर जिसके लीडर अवेलेबल नहीं है, वो अपने ग्रुप पे जितने लोग अभी बैठे हैं उसमें से किसी एक पर्सन को नेक्स्ट एक्टिविटी के लिए लीडर सिलेक्ट करके चुन सकते हैं. ओके, सो लीडर ऑफ टेक माइंड, मे आई नो योर नेम? निलेश जी इज द लीडर ऑफ टेक माइंड. Sixth Sense, the leader is Gaurav ji. Gaurang ji. Okay, Gaurang ji, let's give him a big hand. Congress, and we have Mr. Paras as the leader. Let's give him a big hand. Murlidhar ji from Delta. Okay, let's give him a big hand. Murlidhar ji from Delta. Phoenix से कौन है? Ravi. Ravi is going to be the leader for this game for Phoenix. Let's have a big round of applause for him. And Harshit ji from Achievers. Harshit ji from Achievers as a leader. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Great. All 6 of you, I am going to give you 2 cards. Please hold it. Yes, X and Y. There is no Z. This is not an X you are thinking about. Pass it on. So please be here and do not roam around your other thoughts. No discussion on X's. Okay, one for you. Can you please pass it on? I hope, have you received one? आपके पास आ गया? Okay. So all the leaders have 2 cards. Guys, this is a little important. If you don't understand the rules of the game, you won't be able to play it. Okay, you can take a seat now. Please, all the leaders, please take your seats. Shh. Done. What we are going to do now? I have a bank and you need to loot the bank. You need to earn the maximum money from bank. Yes. Are you ready? But you have to earn this money little logically and strategically. Okay? I will be having a scoreboard here and we will be playing 5 different rounds. At the end of the 5 rounds, we will see कि किसके सबसे ज़्यादा मतलब पैसे लूटे हैं बैंक से किसने सबसे ज़्यादा पैसे लूटे हैं. So you need to earn and grab the money from the bank. आपको बैंक लूटना है, ठीक है? बट थोड़ा स्ट्रेटेजिकली लूटना है. कैसे आप डिसाइड करोगे? डिसीजन सिंपल एक ही लेना है. लिसन. हर एक टीम के पास एक लीडर है और हर एक लीडर के पास 2 कार्ड्स है. एक पे लिखा है एक्स और दूसरे पे लिखा है वाई. आपको डिसीजन सिर्फ इतना लेना है कि आपकी टीम एक्स का कार्ड सिलेक्ट कर रही है या वाई का कार्ड सिलेक्ट कर रही है. दैट्स इट. आपको नो इट हैज नो. ओके, सो आपको सिर्फ इतना डिसाइड करना है कि आपकी टीम एक्स का कार्ड सिलेक्ट कर रही है या वाई का कार्ड सिलेक्ट कर रही है. टू डिसाइड दैट यू कैन टेक हेल्प ऑफ योर एंटायर टीम. ओके, बट डिसीजन जो है वो रिफ्लेक्ट करने के लिए विल टेक हेल्प ऑफ लीडर्स. So after every round, all the leaders will come forward, they'll stand here together and at the same time on count of 3, they will all show one of the cards. Okay? So leaders are the representatives of their consortiums. But they are not the only person who have taken this decision. So कोई मेरे पास आके ये नहीं बोलेगा कि हम कुछ और बोल रहे हैं, हमारा लीडर कुछ और कर रहा है, वो मेरा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. That's your problem. आपका लीडर आपके कहे में नहीं है, वो मैं that's not what I can deal with. I will go ahead with what leaders would do here. Okay? So, be in touch with your leaders, talk to them, and help them take the right decision for your team. Okay? किस basis पे आप decide? Can we have the Excel? भैया, Excel चला दो यहाँ पे. यहाँ पे मैं एक Excel sheet share कर रही हूँ. यहाँ पे हम हर एक राउंड को ट्रैक करने वाले हैं और एक स्कोर बोर्ड भी मेंटेन होगा. किस बेसिस पे डिसाइड होगा कि आप X सिलेक्ट करो वो ज्यादा फायदेमंद है या Y सिलेक्ट करो वो ज्यादा फायदेमंद है? देयर आर सम रूल्स टू इट. ओके, देयर आर सम रूल्स टू इट. यहां पे हम टोटल 5 राउंड्स खेलेंगे और हर एक राउंड का स्कोर नोट होगा. व्हाट हैपेंड? ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता. आ गया भाई, टेक्नोलॉजी वाले का मीटअप है, आईटी का तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ सकता इधर. और अगर बाई चांस भी आ जाए, आई हैव 100 पीपल हियर टू क्योर दैट. सो आई ट्रस्ट यू ऑल ऑन दिस. ओके, सो जस्ट हैव अ लुक एट द स्क्रीन. ओके, अनेबल एडिटिंग ऊपर से. आई डू द नीडफुल, डोंट वरी. सी, जो पैसे आप जीते वो आपको मिलेंगे. I will clap for you. See, okay, listen. हर एक लीडर्स एक साथ आगे आएंगे और एक साथ कार्ड शो करेंगे, इधर X और Y. अगर सारी टीम्स, all 6 टीम्स एक साथ X का कार्ड शो करती है, तो हर एक टीम को 100 रुपीज मिलेंगे. ओके, अगर ये अलग अलग परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन है. अगर 5 टीम ने X किया और एक टीम ने Y किया, तो जिन 5 टीम ने X किया है उन सब में से -100 होगा और जिस एक टीम ने Y किया है उसमें +500 होगा. 4x 2y, जिस 4 टीम ने X किया है उसमें से -200 और जिन 2 टीम ने Y किया है उसमें +400 होगा. 3x एंड 3y, अगर 3 टीम ने x किया और 3 टीम ने y किया, तो जिन 3 टीम ने x का कार्ड दिखाया है उसमें से -300, और जिन 3 टीम ने y का कार्ड दिखाया है उसमें +300. 2x एंड 4y, 2x अगर 2 टीम x का कार्ड दिखाती है तो उनको -400 मिलेगा, और 4y जिन 4 टीम ने y का कार्ड शो किया है उनको 200 रुपीज मिलेंगे. 1x 5y, 1x is equal to -500, 5y is equal to +100. and अगर सारी टीम्स, लिसन, अगर सारी टीम्स y का कार्ड शो करती है तो -100 फ्रॉम द ऑल द टीम्स. So this is, we'll see શું થાય છે આપણે જોઈશું. Okay, now one more important thing that you need to note. There are total 5 rounds. Column number B, I have put a star mark there. Column number B में कुछ कुछ जगह पे स्टार मार्क है, बाकी खाली है. राउंड नंबर 2, 4 एंड 5 हैज अ स्टार मार्क. स्टार मार्क का मतलब क्या है कि इस राउंड में आप अपनी टीम के अलावा यहीं बैठे सारी टीम्स के साथ डिस्कस करके यू ऑल कैन म्यूचुअली डिसाइड कि कौन सी टीम कौन सा कार्ड शो करेगी. ओके, पर राउंड नंबर 1 एंड 3 में यू कांट गो टू अदर टीम्स. राउंड नंबर 1 एंड 3 में यू कांट गो टू अदर टीम्स एंड डिस्कस. राउंड नंबर 2, 4 एंड 5 उसमें आप दूसरी टीम्स के साथ भी डिस्कस कर सकते हो. राउंड नंबर 1 एंड 3 विद इन योर टीम्स ओनली. डोंट वरी, हर एक राउंड में मैं ये रिपीट कर दूंगी इंस्ट्रक्शंस. उसके बाद कॉलम नंबर सी में आई हैव रिटन सम डिजिट्स. व्हाट आर दे? दैट विल बी मल्टीप्लीकेशन. राउंड नंबर 1 का जो भी रिजल्ट आएगा प्लस और माइनस विल बी मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 7. Round number 2 will be multiplied by 9 and vice versa. So, if in round number 1 you are getting 100, then actually what you are getting is 700. Okay? So, if I repeat, round number 1, you can't talk to other teams, you need to talk within your teams only. This sheet will be there so that यहाँ पे आप check कर सको कि किस basis पे आपका selection होगा, और round 1 का जो भी result आएगा will be multiplied by 7. I'll give you 2 minutes to think and discuss within your consortium only. You cannot go to other consortium and decide कि आपका लीडर कौन सा कार्ड सिलेक्ट करेगा. Your time starts now. Okay, let me update. I'll do. No question. No this. Look at the scoreboard here, look at the rules here and decide कि आपकी टीम कौन सा कार्ड सिलेक्ट करना चाहती है, X और Y. ये तो आगे भी आ गए. No, there is no early bird incentive.
I need someone to update the. I need one volunteer to update the Excel along with. Okay.
Once you're ready with your decisions, I would request all the leaders to come forward. You can't talk to other consortiums right now. You can't talk to other consortium. Okay. Okay, this team is ready.
आपको एक्सेल अपडेट करना है. जैसे मैं इंस्ट्रक्शन दूँ, आप यहाँ पे बैठ जाइए. पहले तो उसे ना 6 टीम के जो नाम है ना आपने कंसोर्शियम के, उसके नाम अपडेट कर दो, और फिर हर एक का स्कोर मैं जैसे बताऊँ. मनीष, ओके.
Okay, you can't talk to other consortiums. You can't. You can't talk to other consortiums. No cheatings. Please say 1, 2, 3, show. When I say show, you need to show the card together. और कोई बचपना नहीं चाहिए कि मेरे को तो ये कार्ड शो करना था गलती से वो हो गया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Only one card has to be shown, okay? और अगर कोई जानबूझ के डिले करता है, that team will be disqualified. -2. Okay, are you ready? Only one card you need to select. What? And yes, these are just representatives. जो decision है वो पूरी team का है. So let's not blame them or question them on anything that they are doing. Okay. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, show. Okay. That is 2x and 4y. Okay, 2x and 4y. हम टीम्स के नाम यहाँ पे चेंज कर रहे हैं. जस्ट ओके, अचीवर्स, कॉन्करर्स, टेक माइंड, सिक्स सेंस, फिनिक्स, टीम फिनिक्स, एंड लास्ट टीम डेल्टा. ओके, किसने एक्स किया है आपकी टीम? कॉन्करर्स, अचीवर्स. कॉन्करर्स एंड अचीवर्स 2x -400 into 7 -2800. Conquerors and achievers -2800. -400 into 7 2800 लिखिए सर, 400 नहीं, -2800. And achievers also -2800. और बाकी सब में 700 प्लस. Sorry, 1400 plus. No, 4y. Okay, so this is the result at the end of round number 1. You can go back now and take your seats with your consortium people. Happy? How many of you are happy with whatever happened here? Okay. Let's see what happens next. Okay, now. The consortiums, talk to the leaders, members, whoever you want to interact with. You all can mutually decide what team would do what. Okay? आपके पास opportunity है बाकी सारे consortium members के साथ बात करके mutually decide करने की. I'll give you 2 minutes. Your time starts now. Move around, talk to people. Everybody, get up, get going. Go and talk to other consortium members. Bazaar. You don't have much time. Go and talk to all the consortiums and decide what you want to do. Interact with all the consortiums. जो लोग चुपचाप बैठे हैं वो अपनी टीम को सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं. You have to support your team. Help them make the right decision. You have to roam around. You have to talk to people. You have to get up and get going. You can't just sit and be there. बैंक लूटना है, मैं सिर्फ इतना बताऊंगी. लूट, पैसे जो जीतेगा वही लूटेगा ना. बैंक कैसे लूटोगे? पर आपको बैंक को लूटना है. बैंक के पास बहुत पैसा है. I own the bank. No, no, no. I am the bank.